Welcome to the video, guys. This is a follow-up from my video last night on the incident that happened in Reading. This video has evolved since I actually planned to make it, because the media have flip-flopped more than Chukaramuna did with political parties over the last couple of years. Both the media and the police this morning were running around trying their hardest to make out like this was not a terrorist incident, as was reported last night that, as I said, I covered in a video. Now, this is something we have come to expect from the UK police force and obviously from the UK media, who are likely far more guilty of covering things up than even the old Bill. The BBC, along with Sky News and most mainstream media outlets, were running around claiming this was just a murder, therefore nothing to do with terrorism. But in the same articles where they claim this, they have eyewitness testimony which literally shits over every single one of their claims. Now, before I get into the video, we all know about tech censorship, so I have joined the new free speech version of Twitter, which is called Parler, and will be linked in the description. For the last 2 days, Twexit has been trending on Twitter because a lot of people are moving from Twitter to the new Parler app, which is available on Android and iOS. So if you don't like Twitter or have been banned from there, be sure to follow me on Parler. Now let's get on with the video, as we will see in this BBC article here. That is talking about what they know about the suspect as of 3 hours ago today, so about 9 o'clock this morning. Police say they are currently treating the attack as a murder investigation, not a terrorism incident, despite obviously them saying last night that is what it was, and me covering it in a video, which, thanks to their U-turn that they have now made, as we will see in a minute, that video is still relevant and correct. They continued, however, they are keeping an open mind as to the motivation and say counter-terrorism officers are also on the scene. Officers are not looking for any other people in connection with this incident and say there is no intelligence to suggest there is any further danger to the public. Earlier, security sources told the BBC the 25-year-old man arrested at the scene is thought to be Libyan. Well, that is something a lot of other news organisations are not pointing out, as we will see in a moment. I am rather shocked that the BBC actually included this in their article. Home Affairs correspondent Daniel Sanford said he had been told the suspect had previously been in prison in the UK, but for a relatively minor offence, not a terrorism offence. I have seen reports, unconfirmed of course, that this person had just come out of prison very recently. I don't know if this is true. As I said, these are unconfirmed reports, but they are floating around at the moment. And here we see what the eyewitnesses have claimed that they saw in person, which completely shits on the murder narrative that the police and the media were trying to push all morning. What did eyewitnesses see? Eyewitness Lawrence Waugh, 20, told the BBC that he was visiting Reading for the day and was about 10 metres from the attack. The park was pretty full. A lot of people sat around drinking with friends when one lone person walked through, suddenly shouted some unintelligible words and went round a large group trying to stab them. Now, there are a few possibilities for the things that he might have said. One of them is obviously going to be Allah Akbar, as they are saying this is a terrorist incident, but equally it could be considered a terrorist incident if he was running around screaming something like no justice, no peace, jumping on the BLM bandwagon. It is always possible, though I think the first is far more likely. Either way, that there suggests that this is not just your average murder and 100% a terrorist incident, which really annoys me that the BBC have the cheek, along with the police, to come out and say this is a murder investigation, not a terrorism incident. Those few words there literally shit all over that narrative. You don't need to be Sherlock fucking Holmes to work that out, let's be honest. The witness continued, he stabbed 3 of them and then turned and started running towards me. When we turned and started running. When he realised that he couldn't catch us, he tried to stab another group, sat down. He got one in the back of the neck, and then when he realised everyone was starting to run, he ran out of the park. So, yet again, those few sentences there suggest to me this is 100% a terrorist attack. I don't know how else you could really look at it. He's going from group to group trying to stab people until he realises that he's not going to get any more, and he tries to make good his escape, which, let me tell you, doesn't work, as we will see in a moment. First, let's take a quick look at the media backtracking once again and putting this back as what it obviously was, a terrorism case. The Guardian article headlines, Reading stabbings declared a terrorist attack, by police. The killing of 3 people in a stabbing rampage in the park in Reading is being treated as a terrorist attack, police have said. A 25-year-old Libyan national is being held by police over the incident in which at least 3 other people sustained serious injuries. Deputy Assistant Commissioner Dean Hayden, Senior National Coordinator for the Counter-Terrorism Policing Network, has declared the attack a terrorist incident and Counter-Terrorism Policing South East will be taking over the investigation, Thames Valley Police have said. Security sources told The Guardian the suspect had been granted asylum, so there is a chance this dirty fuckpig come across on one of the small boats, helped by the Home Office and the Border Force. And carrying on from that, we have yet more witness testimony here. Other witnesses said they initially believed the attacker was playing Duck Duck Goose during the violent rampage, a children's game where participants sit in a circle while someone taps them on the head. One man, Dan, told the Mirror, "I thought they were playing Duck Duck Goose and thought someone had been sick. We realised it was blood spraying out," which is rather incredible, but I suppose is no different to the fog of war. But I'm sure you would agree that witness testimony there suggests this was not your average murder. Now obviously the media and the police backtracking on this is rather hilarious considering how obvious it was to anyone with half a brain cell what was going on. There is nothing funny about what happened, and I hope this dirty fuckpig gets the full extent of the law thrown at him and then quickly deported out of this country the moment his sentence is over. Given the weakness of political parties and their willingness to actually deport people, I wouldn't bank on that of course, but there was some good news that come out of the Reading situation yesterday and completely shits all over the BLM's narrative about defunding the police. Lone police officer rugby tackled suspected Reading knife attacker to the ground. The Reading knife attacker who killed 3 people and seriously injured 3 others in a park was brought down by a lone police officer who rugby tackled him to the ground, witnesses have said. The officer took action after seeing the suspected attacker attempt to flee the scene in Forbury Gardens, a source told the Sunday Mirror. A man pulled a knife and started attacking people at random, as we already know. It appears the attack was stopped when a lone sergeant who responded when the alarm was raised ran to the scene, saw the attacker running away with a knife and rugby tackled him to the ground, which I'm sure you will agree makes that copper an absolute fucking legend in my eyes. What a fucking hero he is. If he ran over there on his own and took this scumbag down, he is a credit to the police force and to this country. And I certainly hope when he did it, he was far from gentle, but that is all I will say on that. Now, it amazes me how much the media have climbed back on what they said, along with the police. Thames Valley Police were quick this morning to shout out how this was not a terrorist attack all over Twitter, calling it just a murder, when, as I've said multiple times, anyone with half a brain cell knew exactly what it was from the moment the guy was arrested, or in some cases even long before that. Now obviously, if the reports are true that this person was known to police and indeed did just come out of prison, questions need to be asked about why the fuck he was still here. If he was an asylum seeker and he's broke the law, requiring a prison sentence, he definitely shouldn't be here, that is for sure, once again showing the weakness of our immigration system. Now as always, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who supports the channel, and my other social media links are down in the video description if you want to come and support me on Twitter, BitChute and a variety of other platforms, including my second YouTube channel. As I said, all links are down in the video description.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.